Imagine a situation where your neighbor's kids simply rock up in your house unannounced, very late, and they are tired. They're telling you that they are hungry. And because you are a good neighbor, you give them food and you even let them eat first before your kids could be served. And because it's already late at night, you decide that they're also going to sleep here. Maybe you might have tried to reach out to their parents to no avail. And it also seems that their parents, they are not really bothered where their kids are at the moment. This continues. And when it is time to sleep, you even sacrifice your children's bed so that they could sleep comfortably because they are visitors. And you decide that because you are a good neighbor, your own children are going to sleep on the floor. This continues and continues and continues. And of course, at the later stage, you realize that no, this is too much, overstretching your financial resources in the house. Now that you used to have or prepare for a 4 individual household, all of a sudden now you have about 8. You complained to them to say that now I think it is time that you go back home and look for your parents, because I've been trying to reach out to your parents, but they don't seem to be bothered by. Unfortunately, I can no longer afford to have you and my kids at the same time. And when you tell them that, they start throwing tantrums at you, and they boldly tell you that they are not going to go. Ladies and gentlemen, that is exactly what has been happening with illegal immigration in South Africa. And unfortunately, our infrastructure, our resources, health, education, they cannot take it anymore. That's the honest truth. Yes, you might say that healthcare in South Africa is free. But is it really free for everyone? South Africans, currently, they are regarded as one of the highly taxed citizens in Africa and in the world. This government has about 28 million South African citizens that are on social security. We spend about 30 to 40% of our annual budget towards what we call social spending, which includes things like health, education, social welfare. That is a lot of money that is coming out of taxpayers. And guess what? It's not affordable because this country of ours has been on negative economic growth for the past 16 years. We've been running budget deficit since the year 2008, 2009. And as such, our national debt as a country moved from 627 billion around 2009-2010 financial year. To date, we're sitting at 5 trillion. We spend about 424 billion rands on annual basis towards debt service cost. That translates to 1.1 billion per day that is going towards debt service cost. Is it sustainable? No. Is our government willing to deal with the issue? No, they are not willing, because we as taxpayers, we are funding them. Their VIP lifestyle is at the cost of taxpayers. Rolling with blue lights vehicles, they don't fill the potholes that we fill. They live in expensive estates with security. They don't feel the impact of crime that we feel. They don't go to public health facilities. They go to private. They don't feel what we feel. That is exactly what is happening in South Africa. And South Africans are saying, now we have had enough. But our government is not willing to listen. Ladies and gentlemen, unfortunately, at this point in time, the revolution is imminent.
Fight with me if you want, but this thing of South Africans not allowing people from foreign countries to enter hospitals because they don't have documentation is pure evil. It's pure evil because the government hasn't said anything about it. So why are you taking matters to your own hands? And why?
You know what's funny? South Africans can't go to other countries and get free healthcare. In every country, there's due process and legal procedures, but in South Africa, we need to cater for foreigners, illegal foreigners at that. When there are millions of South Africans sleeping on the streets, when there are pregnant South African ladies that can't even get into the hospitals because they're so packed. So we prioritize everybody else but ourselves. As South Africans, we don't even have the resources to share amongst ourselves. South Africa doesn't even have the resources for its own people, but we need to give our resources that we already do have, which are a few, to foreigners. illegal foreigners at that. It's about time we start being realistic with ourselves, guys. And I understand that a lot of you guys are Pan-Africanists, but it won't work. Bro, let me tell you, even if it is the failure of the South African government to provide those resources, it doesn't change the fact that South Africans need to take first preference. Don't tell me the government hasn't said anything about it, so then South Africans mustn't take things into their own hands. The government hasn't said anything about GBV. Should we keep quiet and do nothing about that? What about crime? It doesn't make sense. That logic is flawed. We all understand that these people are trying to survive, but compassion without boundaries becomes exploitation.
This is why illegal foreigners will not leave South Africa, and why the SAPS members are protecting these illegal foreigners. Your police officers are being paid off by these illegal foreigners, which makes it very much difficult for them to take any actions against them. That's why you'll find them arresting you instead, who is fighting these illegal foreigners, because they can't take any actions at all. And if you find police officers arresting these illegal foreigners, just know that these illegal foreigners will not go to the station. They will not arrive in any station. They are taken somewhere else. That's why you find out that the illegal foreigner was arrested today, but they are out tomorrow and walking out the streets. It's because they were never arrested. They were arrested in front of you to make you think that the law is working. Your SAPS members can't take any actions against these foreigners because they are paying them every day, every week, every month. They are eating these foreigners. They are eating illegal foreigners' money. That's why they can't take any actions against them. Think about this, just in case that you think I am lying. If the police arrest these illegal foreigners and we deport them, right? We are deporting all illegal foreigners back to their country. Just imagine. Where will they get bribes? Because they know for the fact that we are not going to bribe them in anything. They're not going to do anything to us. Right? So just imagine that. Who's going to bribe them? Who's going to give them the second salary? Because they won't be receiving any money. So ask yourself that question. And tell me, this is a chain. There's nothing that you can do about it. They know that these foreigners will keep on paying and paying and paying them. As long as they arrest them, take them somewhere private and they pay, they will take. And like, for instance, you find out the officer is arresting an illegal foreigner here, right now. They take the foreigner somewhere. They don't take the foreigner back to the station. They take the foreigner somewhere private. They demand that they should pay. And when that foreigner pay, they take the same van that arrested the foreigner. They come back with it to this spot and they will drop that foreigner back to the spot and they leave. Why? Because they are paid. And you might find out that they're paid like 80 rand or 50 rand. Just like that, like they're wasting government petrol just for 50 rand. Going back and forth. So think about it. These foreigners are going nowhere. They're going nowhere. Anyways, if you want these shirts, you can DM me, send me a message on my inbox. These shirts are for sale